Hi, welcome to Board Gems. My most recent Board Gem video was on the card game Chimera, and so I thought I'd compare the two editions of Chimera. So here's a side-by-slide comparison of Chimera. We have the 2014 Z-Man edition on the left and the 2017 edition from Eagle-Gryphon games, Chimera and More, on the right. It comes with more cards to allow you to play a 5-player variant, whereas traditional Chimera/Dòu Dìzhǔ only plays 3 players exactly. Before I recorded the video, I could have sworn that the 2014 edition box was much bigger than the 2017 edition box, but as it turns out, they're very, very similar. Chimera and More is only a tiny bit thinner, and it has the little cutout to help you open the box. Now, I appreciate this. It does make it easier to open the box. Can I be honest? I never really had a problem opening card boxes before. It's not like I was like in an infomercial struggling to open a card box and then there's got to be a better way. But it's better than not having it, what can I say? I do like the art on the first edition more. I'm not a big fan of the sort of pseudo Chinese-like font that they used in second edition and oh so many Chinese-themed games. Here's a comparison of the score pads. Between you and me, it took me stupidly longer to figure out how to use the first edition score pad, and I'm a bit embarrassed by it, because it doesn't seem to be enough room to put everything. And then I realized that the word bid, that box, is actually the space you're supposed to put the bid in. I don't know, to me the word bid just stood out a little too strongly, so it felt like that wasn't a box I was supposed to write in. Where do I write the sum? Here's my old total, here's the new amount we're going to add, and here's the new total. There's just not enough room to write it on. And then I realized it's actually supposed to be like a running total. Like if you had 150 and you gained 30 points, you don't write 30 and then 180. You just write the 180. It took me way too long to figure that out. I'm a bit embarrassed. I mean, the Chimera and More scorepad is better that way. It has separate rows for the bid and the total. It does have, as you can see, extra columns because Chimera and More can play up to 5 players. The Chimera and More rulebook on the right is more of a traditional card game rule book that you might find in the hobby with kind of a coated, glossy paper style, and the one on the left is a much rougher, almost a recycled paper. But it's actually quite different and charming. I like it. And the text is much bigger in the first editions. In the second edition, you can see how small the text is. Do you see that some of the text in the right is black and some of it is a very dark blue or purple? The text in dark blue/purple is the additional rules you add if you're playing the 5-player game of Chimera. Actually, in the PDF, that difference is quite clear, but unless you have absolutely perfect light, it is very hard to tell the dark blue text from the black text. I had very good light, and I still had a real difficult time ignoring the blue text when I wanted to learn how to play a 3-player game. Both are double deck boxes. They can hold 2 decks of cards. First edition Chimera only has 1 deck of cards, so there's an empty space. What do you put in it? You can put Tichu in there. Then in one box you have Chimera and Tichu for 3- and 4-player games. The Chimera and More box comes with additional cards, not quite a second deck, but extra cards, 6 suits instead of 4, so as to play a 5-player game, as well as little helpful player aids. I'm not very sensitive to card quality. Both of these decks are fine to me. Both shuffle fine. But as you'll notice, the first edition cards are thinner than second edition cards, so that's got to count for something. Now, first edition Chimera has 4 suits, and obviously an intentional nod to Tichu. They use the exact same 4 symbols and colors that Tichu does. In second edition, they went in a different direction. I do like the fortune cat. It's got its paw raised like you might find in a Chinese restaurant. I guess technically the one on the right also has a raised paw. Second edition does have extra cards. You can see it has 2 extra suits, as well as these messenger pigeons, the cues. I don't actually know how to play Chimera 5 players, so I don't know how you use those, but it also comes with player aids. For example, just helping you remember the strength of the various cards, 1 through 12, then HPC, and reminding you about the extra use of the PIA. Thanks for watching. Remember, older games like Chimera, not that it's that old, don't stop being good just because newer games come out. Take care.